What do we got going on here? Jeff, did you get a chance to play any of that Blizzard thing? I know you were
Yes.
installing it.
Yes, I have played some of the Blizzard arcade collection because I'm a big fan of Blizzard's arcade games.
Yeah, of course.
Those arcade guys, Blizzard, real quarter munchers over there. It's the dumbest name. Like those. Hey, Blizzard didn't. It's not arcade. Those aren't arcade games.
What the fuck is wrong? The Blizzard Classic Collection.
Yeah, sure,
works just as well.
Whatever you got, yeah. So anyway, whatever. It's awesome. It's really well done. So it is the Lost Vikings, Blackthorn, and Rock and Roll Racing in one collection.
Tell me Blackthorn holds up,
dude. So they have really done right. So they've included multiple versions of each game. So when you go pick Rock and Roll Racing, it'll say, do you want to play the SNES version or the Genesis version? Which the answer there is the SNES version. I mean, don't be crazy.
That's cool.
But the Genesis, but they also list and say like, hey, the Genesis version has like 4 new tracks and 1 song that the SNES version didn't have. But they've also done definitive editions of each game. So you can also play Rock and Roll Racing Definitive Edition, which is widescreen, native, 16:9.
Same game?
Same game.
Like same graphics?
But, updated graphics, like an updated look to some of the tracks and just the but it is definitely maintaining the exact look of those games, but like they did what they could around the edges a little bit, I guess I would say. Like in Rock and Roll Racing, there's the sides of the track and there's some smoke or mist off to the sides and stuff that like looks a little bit better than a SNES or a Genesis would have been capable of at the time. So they've done some visual work to it in addition to making it widescreen. They also make Olaf, the hidden character, immediately selectable. They have replaced all the audio, which is good and bad. So it's like it's actual CD audio of those songs or of songs, as opposed to the SNES and Genesis just sounding like SNES and Genesis games, which I think I might prefer. But anyway, and it's all new announcer VO. Like they've added, like, the announcer is just like, this race is brought to you by, like, there's just like additional lines of dialogue that were not there originally, but it is still the same game, the same basic concept, the same controls, all that stuff. So it's like it's kind of fucking crazy. Like, it's not a ton of work. They have not reinvented that game, but they have done enough to it to where you're like, this is like, so they added 2 things there. They added the definitive edition and then also a 4-player split screen mode, which didn't exist before, where you can just play that game 4-player local. And that's nuts. So like the idea that they've done like a significant amount of work to like make legit, like really actually probably definitive editions of those games is like pretty neat.
What did they do to Blackthorn in that context?
Blackthorn, they added an auto map.
Okay.
So you can hit the touchpad on the PS4 and it'll just bring up a map of the world. That game maintains 4:3, but they've put graphics around the edges. Like the menus are 16:9, but it looks a bit better. But also in that case, what the 2 versions they're pulling, I think it's SNES, and they just say 32-bit, which I think means 32X, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
I played that game on the personal computer back in the day. I don't know what the difference is, but
yeah, it may be that they've pulled some of those assets also. And then Lost Vikings, the difference is I didn't actually dip into the definitive version of that one, but it just says we've created the best of both worlds. So it seems like the Genesis version maybe had additional levels that the SNES version didn't have. So maybe they're like, we made it look like the good version and sound like the good version, but it has the levels, all the levels, and or something like that. It's probably what they did there. It's got some videos of, no, it doesn't just say straight up Amiga. I wonder, it's probably not. I was going to say maybe for the PC version, since they can assume you'll have a keyboard and mouse, they would do something additional there, but I doubt they did. It's got some videos, some interviews and stuff like that with some of the people that made those games, which is
okay.
Like, it is what it is. It's fine.
Do you know who made those videos?
No,
that's a Drew Scanlon joint.
Oh, is that
right.
what he did?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yes, I forgot that was another Ocean thing. Yes, yes.
Just the
yeah,
videos. I saw that
Jeremy
he tweeted
are.
he worked on it. Yeah, I saw that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I know that he did a bunch of the video stuff because Jeremy, who films all the no clip docs, also helped out on some of the bits and bobs there. But yeah, apparently that I think it's the gallery or something. I forget what they call it. Museum, maybe they have some stuff in there, like concept art and that type of thing, which is pretty neat.
I wonder if they also handled
right.
the game development aspect of it, because that's also right in their wheelhouse.
Other Ocean did do this. I believe
the whole thing, top to bottom.
I believe it is them.
Okay, that explains the labor of love aspect then.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Micah was tweeting about this thing when it got announced. I think so. That's probably a good sign.
Micah is a man who loves old video games. So yeah. I mean, it's nice. It's just nice to see an about face on something like this from Blizzard after the fiasco of the Warcraft 3 thing. You know.
Yes, these are like you look at this and you go like, wow, like someone really paid attention to this and found interesting ways to do right by these 3 games in ways that like I just wouldn't have expected. Like that's kind of the cool thing is like, you know, you're like used to things like, oh, well, there's a new graphics mode and you can toggle between them, or hey, we did like what are the other tricks? Like the Capcom thing has the same thing that the SNK collection had of like here's a playthrough that you can interrupt at any time, right? Like they did that there. So like, like even that has happened in a couple of cases. And so like in terms of thinking about like, well, what do you do with these games? Like I think this idea of just like this definitive version that finds ways to still be those old games, but like come up with like 1 or 2 like little cool modernizations that you know like the map for Blackthorn, that's very useful. You know, that's cool. Yeah, all that stuff is seems really great. I was very surprised with it. Like going in, I was like, okay, this is just going to be like one version of this game. Hopefully it'll be the SNES version of Rock and Roll Racing. We'll see. And then loading it up and seeing like, oh, it has both. And what the fuck is this? Wait, hang on. Like I was very surprised. Very well done.
What's it on? Like everything or
it's on
everything pretty much.
Yeah, it is.
A Switch version.
Yes. I want to say yes. Let me triple check.
Yeah.
I believe that is the case.
But it is on BattleNet as well as consoles.
Yes, BattleNet, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Yes.
Man, great. I don't have enough Viking games in my life right now. Perfect.
Yeah, right.
Very hot this year.
Yeah. So it's so that's
you know who else is hot?
What's that?
Golden Earring.
Really?
The recording artists of Radar Love, the one song that was exclusive to the Sega Genesis version. I never played Rock and Roll Racing back in the day, so I had to look up the soundtrack because I needed to know what kind of rock and roll we're talking about.
Well, don't play it on Twitch, they said, because you're going to get
tough. We'll get it. Born to be Wild, Bad to the Bone, the theme from Peter Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Radar Love exclusive on the Genesis, but not anymore.
Peter Gunn.
The Spy Hunter theme.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers, I always thought was that.
Yeah. It's before that. Peter Gunn was the TV show from years before that. But yeah.
Yes, you know, the rock and roll classic, the theme from Peter Gunn.
Like Highway Star, I think, is in there too originally.
Yes.
And some other stuff. Yeah. There's
Deep Purple, Black Sabbath.
Right.
Wow.
The SNES version. So so that was a thing when well, whatever. We'll get to it in the news, but I was very surprised seeing that information based on like it's the SNES audio, right? It's not gonna like, oh wait, it's not. Okay.
Algorithms don't give a shit.
No, that's the thing.
They see all and know all.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm telling you is that these definitive versions have those songs.
Oh yeah.
It's not the SNES audio. It's the songs. So
yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if that applied to everything in there.
Yeah,
that'd be worrying, man. I don't want to get like hit by a strike because I'm whistling a Spice Girls song.
Yeah, dude, I've seen YouTube videos from people who like, you know, like dude is like, here are the top 20 acoustic guitar intros of all time, and like 3 of them, he's like, I can't even play this for you on my guitar right now because I will get flagged and copyright claimed.
That's awful. That's
like
awful.
The robots don't give a shit anymore.
They never did. They never did.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, just now.
No, man, ethical AI.
Now they have way too much power.
Is that a term people use? Ethical AI?
Yeah. Oh, dude, yes. There are like fucking Google employees, like ethicists and shit at this point, supposedly, if I'm not mistaken. Like digital ethicists, chief ethical officer, I'm sure is something that is on the way very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. God.